So, it's cooked and ready to eat.
Yep.
Alright, rabbit stew's ready.
I'm gonna have you describe how it looks, Tate. In the end, it's not going to kill your party. It's not going to injure your party. But did you skin it? That's a question mark. Did you take out any of its guts? That's a question mark.
Question mark?
Did you basically just try to shave it with a knife and threw it in full, expecting people to just tear it apart? Maybe. Did you actually chop it up, but you put the extra bits that you're not supposed to put in there with it? So it is chopped up, but it's chopped up along with like its intestines and everything else. Maybe
it's seasoning.
Have at it with how you're gonna describe it, but you say soup's up, and out of curiosity, Balasar is gonna be the first one to head over to check out what you did. Is anyone else gonna head over there to check out Avina's cooking?
Nope.
I am going to check out his reaction.
I'm here to watch.
Okay. Around this time, Lamb, is when you show up. Just in time to see Avina is cooking and Balasar is receiving food from her. You're not going to have enough time to stop him, though.
I wasn't planning to. I'm going immediately over to her.
Okay. So
I would say...
How do you serve it to him, and how does it look?
I would say it is skinned.
Okay.
However, it is just the whole rabbits. With their limbs removed.
So it's like torso, head, arm, or leg, leg.
Kind of like a Turkey Day chicken, you know. Back leg's still there, but no head, no arms. It has seasoning, you know, various things.
Like?
Some stuff she found, you know, some of the trail mix too, possibly.
So
rations,
dirt, and dried berries.
And some stinging nettle.
No, it doesn't hurt anyone.
No, stinging nettle, no. Marcus doesn't want to hurt anybody because he has NPC here.
Oh, no. It's because you rolled a 12. If you didn't roll higher than a 10, it was absolutely going to hurt anyone if they try it.
Oh my god. But I would say it looks terrible, but the actual seasonings were proper seasoning kind of thing, like special kind of leaves.
Unfortunately for you, how do you serve it to him? Let me get to that.
I'd probably ask Noah for a bowl.
All right.
I know he's got some.
Avina turns around and asks Tucson for a bowl.
1 second, let me look through my pouch.
You easily find one.
I don't have a bowl, but I give my mess kit.
Give her the what?
Mess kit.
What's that?
It's essentially utensils and bowl/plate.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, he hands you the stuff to serve him.
And he does dish him up.
All right, so it's an entire rabbit cooked inside of boiling water, inside of a bowl with water.
That's seasoned, partially.
Takes a look. He just puts his hand in, picks it up. It should be hot, but as one would assume with his dragon scales, probably doesn't necessarily affect him at all. And takes a bite. Let me roll real quick his fort. chews it, swallows it, looks at you and goes, tastes like shit. And takes another bite. Good try, though. And just keeps eating it. He throws the bits that he doesn't want to eat to your rats. Let me roll something real quick for them.
She does clap, because she's like, yes! That's a better response than what I was expecting.
The celestial one is just disgusted and eats none of it and goes over and just starts eating like some random berries. The fiendish one is having a day. He's just like, oh, awesome. Disgusting food. So yeah, they're...
You guys want some soup?
Nope. And Porthos, I see you're purple.
Oh yeah.
This has happened before.
Some of my soup would fix that.
I don't remember what color you turned last time, though.
Yeah,
Red.
Red? No.
I think it was like red.
It was red.
Some of my soup would fix that, Porthos.
It's not going to. Give it an hour. It'll be fine. Anyway. So, some chunks fell off of this pillar when he came out last night. Oh, well, when the new guy came out. Would we be able to... Have you not noticed, like, the 6-foot tall dragonborn?
I take a quick look around and actually notice him now.
Yeah, there is a 6-foot tall,
Balzan.
mirror-like scaled dragon eating Avina's dragonborn, eating Avina's cooking.
No,
Like it's
I thought he was, I don't know, a hallucinogenic effect from the alcohol or something? I just went back to bed.
Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna walk over here.
I'll follow.
So a whole bunch of chunks fell off of this pillar. I'm assuming there's rubble around it.
Yeah.
Careful of hands, by the way.
Like, it's not super damaged, but it's damaged enough that you're probably gonna have to fix it before using it.
Yeah, but now we can take some of the material and test it against other material.
That's true.
We do have some samples we can take back to the city to see if anyone has more.
Avina is gonna get her own soup, by the way.
Alright, Tate, roll me a fort.
Let's see, brothers. Well,
This,
do you want to
do I read to save at this point?
Tate, just roll
Yes.
it. Brothers, did you want to carry the samples in?
I mean, I might as well. It's just one of those things where you're the guy who knows about these things.
Yeah, but I also assume this thing's magical, right? So,
I
you might be able
don't-
to detect if it fades or anything.
I don't think the stone itself
That a
is
9 there,
magical.
Tate?
Yes, it is.
Roll me a will.
Okay.
Well, even if it's not, I don't know much about the whole magic of this thing, so I don't know.
14.
And another fort.
It's a lot of saves.
Yeah, let's just see what she does. Alright, Avina, this is not your best cooking. You realize you fucked up, but your pride overcomes you and you just keep trying to eat it, and then you get that feeling. And you slowly sit down and put the bowl next to you. If Tucson is still there, you take a look at him and go, because you were gonna say uh-oh, and you puke it up.
Damn it, I was too slow. I throw out the key.
Alright, she is now puking while inside of a music box.
Why would you do this?
Because remember the song?
I do not, actually. Which one was it
Hooked
again?
on a Feeling.
Ah, right.
And you caught the food, you ate the food, and here's your feeling.
I blame Perthros. The laser barrage distracted me.
So while that's all going on, Perthros and Arim, you guys were talking about taking stuff with you and taking it to the city and see if anyone has anything similar to it.
Mm-hmm. Also, Perthros, since he obviously wasn't a figment of my imagination, What were you guys talking about last time? Because I couldn't understand a thing.
Supposedly he's from the distant past. So we picked up more weird people.
Is he by chance a samurai?
I don't know. I haven't really asked.
The Arim knows of samurais because there's supposedly a village in the far east. East? Yes, far east of samurais.
I also had to make the reference, I'm sorry.
That's alright. One of the past players from last 1 or 2 years ago, I guess it would have been, played a samurai. That was a human that was from that rough area. So it is actually canonical that there is a small village of samurai in the far east.
Alrighty then.
Samurai Champloo?
Weeb.
The continent's so massive, I figure anytime anything that isn't super, super breaking, I might as well just let it be canonical so I have another fucking city to have in existence.
You have an island of furries.
That's your doing.
You're welcome.
And I said there's islands that he didn't recognize. Alluding to there might be islands of other stuff.
Is there an island made of entire island people?
Elements.
No.
We don't.
Well,
get
there
to
could
find
be
the
an island
turtles
of
from
Earth
Avatar.
elementals.
No.
Is this the Infinite Island verse?
No. Anyway. Go ahead and continue what you guys were saying. With samurai or whatever.
That was just more a reference joke.
Oh, gotcha. Well, too late. It's canon.
Fair enough.
He said, I'll have to see if he knows about samurai.
So yeah, anyway, you were saying that you don't think the stone's magical?
I think it's from another plane, but I don't think the stone itself is magical in nature, if that makes sense.
But wait, if it's from another plane, how did it get here, and how is it not magical?
It was probably brought here by magical means, but that doesn't make the material itself magical.
And how does this function as a teleporter?
Come here real quick. So where would the gems be slotted? Would they be slotted on the actual like pillars, or would they be slotted?
So, in short, basically, Perthros takes you over and points at the fountain and shows you a couple of different runes there, and you have no idea what any of it fucking is because it's not languages that you can read. It's mostly Draconic. But he basically points out how this here is more or less a doorway generator, and then he points at the pillars and kind of shows a couple of runes on there and says how these are doorway stabilizers, and they create doorways between the pillars through use of the magic that's inside of the runes and the magic that must be within the fountain. And then on the fountain there is a single like slot, and then on the stairs there were what look like slots. And he basically points out, like, if I take a gem and I attune it to this fountain and I attune it to that doorway, and I go to another one and I attune it to the doorway there, then I can make a doorway between the two spots. That's what he says to you.
Okay. I see. So, how did he, pointing over to, I guess his name is Balzan at this point. Yeah. I didn't know if I heard that correctly or not earlier. So how did he get here?
Magical shenanigans with Mojo.
Looking over at him, he is eating a Venus cooking without issue, throwing random bits. You'd assume entrails or things like the feet over to the rat who's just gobbling it up. The fiendish rat.
And he is a fiendish rat, so that means he has a gluttonous stomach.
Not necessarily, but sure. If that's what you want to believe.
He said so himself.
So, Perthros, how did the columns come into play then? The ones that you had me take a look at.
Those are actually what, like, frame the doorway. It's kind of like that arch over there if you decide to put in a giant wooden door. It's what keeps it in place. It's what lets it take shape.
Why can't the doorway just fit the pillars? Why can't we just make the doorway smaller?
I don't think we necessarily couldn't. But that way, if all of these are open, you can still get around the doorway.
Have you tried making a doorway smaller?
I haven't tried working with this magic ever.
Maybe you should try.
To put it into terms for
What do you think
Arim,
I'm trying to do?
Kel, to put it in terms that Arim, or, I mean, you too, but that Arim would get, for what he's kind of catching on, is you're basically being explained something from someone that doesn't fully know, to the equivalent of if it were you having to, like, Arim himself, who knows how to do a lot of things, but then having to explain to someone who doesn't understand doesn't understand crafting, how to put together a mechanical watch, where you.
Wait, I know how to put together watches. What? When did this happen?
But I'm just using it as an example. Like,
I know.
It's basically
or
something
explaining heat
above
treating. We're like, but it's the same temperature, so how is it different?
Right. It's someone that knows a little bit, explaining something that is more than he knows to someone that doesn't know any of it. So it's one of those scenarios where he's like, I understand this. I don't understand how it works, and I'm trying to explain to you how I think it works.
And to that I say, fix it, fix it, fix it.
But that's your job. I can't work with stone.
May not need to work with the stone if we can just make the doorway smaller. So the pillars of what's there can hold it, if that's what you're saying.
I'd rather not have to crawl through a magical doorway.
I'll be fine. Besides, if we were to get the doorway smaller and I could just go through it, we would at least know if it worked or not.
But I mean, again, we don't even know if we have a second one of these somewhere. So it'd still take quite some time before we could actually go and use them.
Well, he, pointing over to Balzan again, obviously came through, so had to have worked at some point. It must be attuned to something.
But again, that was magical shenanigans with Metwayo.
He did come through one of these, but the location was less place and more time.
I'm really confused. What are you doing, Marcus?
Making things
I
backwards
was
to make
making
sense.
Tate's hand go up and down by lifting the piece up and down.
Wasn't doing it on my end.
Why?
I was doing it on my end.
Okay then.
Why?
It was just funny to me. Anyway. Yeah, go ahead, continue.
All right, then. What exactly do we need to do then? Just replace the columns?
Well, I mean, that would be the first step. I think I would have to
I also think you're dying a little bit.
try and replicate the runes. Am I good now?
Should be.
Cool, because my ping just went down to, like, reasonable levels. I think repairing the columns would be the first step. After that, the runes would have to be remarked. Which, I have no idea how long that'll take. Because I've never seen half this stuff before.
If the stone's not magical and it's just for supporting some sort of magical doorway, I wonder if other common stones would be able to work.
Yeah, we might be able to try something like this on a smaller scale. I don't know.
With this, I would like to actually inspect the nearby column to see if there's any noticeable blemishes in the stone, if it's coarse, smooth, see if it's intentional, stuff like that.
Sure. Go ahead and roll to investigate it. While you're doing that, Perthros, your skin has finally started to change back to normal. He's all done eating. He threw whatever was left over to the last rat over there. And he's walking up here. But before I do anything with Balazar here, Zephyr, what are you doing?
I was just standing around the pillar, and then that interjection about he did travel from a location, but it was more of a time than a place was relevant to because I am standing right next to where he's explaining how this thing works.
All right, so you're just kind of like the third party that's listening in, and
yeah, I was about to make a architecture knowledge check to see if I might be able to suggest that maybe they used the stone because magic. Or being able to deal with magic is a property of the stone, similar to how hardness and how it chisels would be a property of the stone.
Okay.
Kind of what I'm looking for, only on a more mechanical level for me.
Okay,
So-
Jared, whatever the fuck you just said went right over my goddamn head.
Well, we'll get to all
There
that
are
in a minute.
physical properties of a material, and there just might happen to be a magical capability of the material that's necessary. Not that the material is magical, but that the material
Jared,
can handle being.
I think I have a
working with
quicker
magic.
explanation. Jared is checking to see if the stone is a good conduit for magic.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm making an architecture check to see if I might have enough of a forethought to suggest that that's a possibility as to the material.
Well, go ahead and make a knowledge check for that there, Jared. And while... Oh, go ahead.
20.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could make that kind of a suggestion. And while he's walking over there, before you make that suggestion and everything else, Noah, Tate, what are you guys doing? You have the key floating in front of you, Noah.
Once Tate more or less stops, I'm gonna grab the key.
Okay. And Tate?
Head back and take down my stuff.
I'm gonna pack up, basically dump the rest of the cooking and be like, damn it, with the lasers messing up my cooking, it would have been a lot better.
After you dumped it out, the last rabbit that rolled out, the fiendish dire rat, is eating that up.
That's fine. Good job, Ying.
The celestial one is also eating, but it's eating other shit.
Did it have a successful hunt?
Yeah, it's just eating random berries and grass, whatnot.
What a good boy. Good job,
Looks
Ying.
like it's eating some kind of mushroom. It started to try to eat something, smelled it, and then moved on to something else.
But can she understand them? Ravina feels kind of funny after eating and throwing up her cooking.
Are you using that spell?
Yes, I am. She, like, grasps basically onto that weird feeling, and it just kind of washes over her.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for it? Because
they're not.
Spell, or...
No, it just happens. They're not talking. They're just eating.
I know.
So, you say good job or whatever to one of them?
Yes.
All right. After a few seconds, you then hear it squeak, but you understand it, and it said, "Thank you, Mother."
I've had a rock talk to me. You're welcome. Guys, they're talking to me.
So Balazar, before she gets there, walks past Tucson, who's packing up his stuff, kind of just gives him a nod of, like, acknowledgement that he exists. And, Kel, what did you get?
Was that a particular skill you want me to roll, by the way?
I mean, anything that would be applicable. So a knowledge could be, gather information technically could be, search technically could be.
I think we'd have to go with gather information, even though I don't like what my overall role would be, but makes most sense, in my opinion, for this.
Right.
In which case, the total would be an 8.
He's not really able to tell much from it, but it looks excessively pristine, like unrealistically pristine. Arim pretty much is 100% sold on the fact that this can't be material plane. This has to be one of those magic-y voodoo bullshit planes where good and bad stuff exists, because this is way too fucking pristine for our planet.
Even for
I'm trying to
having
put it
been
in much
crafted?
terms. What was that?
Even for being crafted?
Even for being crafted. I'm talking like even the things that should be naturally random seem unnaturally specific. Like the way that you know how, I don't know how to explain it. You've seen marble and how there's like white marble, but it has veins or whatever you want to call it going through it, right? But this is like a very pristine, like the rock was built. It was decided how it should form.
It's a synthetic material.
Right, but it's not synthetic. It feels like normal marble.
Sounds like we need to decompose it, see what its base elements are. Chemistry. Chemistry exists, right?
I don't think characters have quite that level of chemistry.
Probably not.
Maybe the gnomes. Probably the gnomes.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think they'd share that shit with you, though. Yeah, they know, like, you know, these base components with a human, and then you just gotta add in the last component souls. Anyway, so arm and a leg aside, that's what you kind of get there. And then Zephyr, you get your statement of whatever you want to make it about the stonework. Or about the specifics with the stone. You gotta say what you want to say.
The stone might not be magical, but it might have a capacity for magic that's the property of the material. Kind of like how malleability and hardness are a property of the material.
Behind Arim, you hear from Balasar. He's absolutely correct. The reason that we used the celestial marble is because it is the most or at least we thought it was the most permanent stone to withstand basically basically bending space. What would less... By making a door.
And I'm guessing that material can't be found on this plane.
Not on this plane. I mean, there are the great doorways that take us into other planes, although most of them...
Wait, there are?
Most of them stopped functioning. Or at the bare minimum, I should say, the other planes locked us out.
So we could probably use another material, it would just take more maintenance.
Correct. And by maintenance, it would probably need to be replaced. Unless you know how to command the elements and make it fix itself. He kind of looks at you, seeing your blank looks, and goes, I'll take that as a you don't.
I mean, I kind of know how to manipulate one if we're talking about, like, elemental elements, but...
Not manipulating. I mean, the stone literally repairs itself. It's like it's organic, but not at all.
Stone isn't exactly my forte.
Well, you could theoretically make any element to it, but... It's not magic I ever dabbed into. I mean, to be honest, no one really dabbed into it during the war. That I assume must not be going on anymore, so... I guess it all turned out good. Fantastic.
We can't but barely heal me with magic, so I don't know how we're gonna do with this.
Well, and as he says well, Avina, you start walking up and going, guys, they're talking to me.
Yep.
Avina, you say everything talks to you. Continue, please.
This was different. The rats that said that they're talking to me.
What's new, Avina?
Oh, roll of a 19, my god. He turns, looks you up and down, closes one eye, and kind of stares into your eyes with one of his eyes, and goes, You're just using magic. It's okay. You're just using magic. Are you attuned to nature?
She's attuned to being shitty with a bow.
Shut up, Bert.
His birthday was actually saying this. I really want this to happen.
I don't know. I don't know if he's that much of a dick.
I don't think he's that much of a dick.
I don't either, but that makes me so sad.
Also considering he's like her brother. I guess he could be,
They
but
mock
I don't know.
each other. She does say, I don't know, I just felt really weird. Like, after throwing up weird. And then it just kind of washed over me, and then they spoke to me.
Okay,
Well,
so
one of them
it's a new spell to you, and animals spoke to you. You're just using a spell that allows you to talk to animals. It's fine. He turns and looks back at them.
That's not fine. I'm not magic. That's
He turns and looks at you. Everything's magic there, boy. Boy. Everything's magic there, lass.
I'm so confused after today.
Like,
I
it's probably
traveled
just that.
into supposedly the future. You're confused. Time travel was banned. We weren't allowed to do it. Really, the only ones allowed to do that are, well, the protectors of time.
Oh, great. So they're gonna try and come kick our ass now? Do we need to be worried about that?
I think he also went
I
with Metweo and Akmenos on vacation.
Metweo could destroy the universe with a blink of an eye. So I don't think any of them are going to matter or care what he does.
No, I mean, when you say protector of time, do you mean someone in a weird jacket and he kind of talks in riddles?
Oh, you met one of them. Or I guess the main one. Yes. There's a collection of them. They consistently get reborn as other people. So technically there isn't as many as you think there are, but technically there is because they just travel around time, so each of their different lifetimes interact with one another. I honestly can't keep it straight in my head because...
Are they an
I'm kind of
organization of
stuck
13
to
members?
living within time. What'd you say, Tate?
Are they an organization of 13 members?
No. Doctor Who, jackass.
I know.
Anyway. So yeah, that's what he tells you. Like, that's what they are. Their main purpose, just like mine, was to protect the king, or is to protect the king. Although, from the sounds of it, I'm not too sure what I should be doing now. But obviously, I have to find who the king is. Their main purpose they were given was to protect time. Make sure that the big events that had to happen do happen. Make sure the small events that happen, I guess, happen, but it doesn't really matter if they do or don't, or if they change or not. And then mostly just to make sure no one tries to use it to cheat. Like, say, going to the earliest point in time and setting off an apocalyptic bomb.
My character has a thought to himself based on the enemy in the story. Does that mean I'm supposed to be the new guardian of time?
That's what he thinks to himself?
Yes.
Okay. He can't read thoughts, so he doesn't respond to that thought. So he looks at the group and goes, so are we ready to head, to travel?
Yeah. All this is kind of actually, like, the whole day, the pit fiend and everything is kind of catching up to Avina.
Look, Evie, just go lay down for a while. It's probably that rabbit you ate.
Well, I mean, set up magic.
I mean, aside from the magic thing.
Yeah, maybe you should stick to the cart.
Alright, I'm bringing my rats with me.
I mean, so long as they don't bite the horse.
Oh.
Yes, come along, you two.
Marcus, I'm reminded of something that you asked me. Jared, did you ever grab the orc masks from the place? Or did we leave them there?
I remember looking at the masks. I don't think I actually took them with me.
Okay. Well, before we head out, I would like to see about grabbing some stuff from, the dungeon, I guess is what I want to call it, this character.
Okay. Oh, you say that in character I want to grab some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at you. About how long will this take?
Half an hour?
I suppose. I'd rather not see what kind of disheveled shape it's in. So he just goes and starts petting the horse.
Just try not to get paralyzed.
Yeah, I don't need that again.
So what are you gonna go in there for?
The iron ingots and whatever else is over here. Copper, iron, metal. The metal.
So the random ingots and then that's it? Or anything else?
I'm trying to remember what all else was left in there.
Tables, couches,
That would be reasonable to carry.
clock, rug, crates.
I'm gonna fill my water skin with some of the wine.
Oh.
Wine.
I thought you were about
You know
to
what?
say fill your water skin with gelatinous cube.
You know what? Filling it up with the wine's not a bad idea. I'll be doing that too.
Okay.
Avina has 2 rats. I have a tiny cube.
That'd be adorable, actually.
I mean, you could. Technically,
Keep your work study clean.
I think gelatinous cube are technically a synthetic creature. Just like mimics technically are synthetic creatures.
Oh, the other thing I would like to take are these archery targets, if they're in decent condition. And
They're really not.
No.
They're pretty shit.
Never mind then.
Like, they went through quite a few damages, and then times just slowly eroded them. If one of you were to actually start shooting at it, you might be fine. You might also make it just fall apart.
What about these bows? I remember us talking about them. I don't remember the details anymore.
That they were all damaged, but you could fix them.
I'll be grabbing those then.
Okay. Jot down then that you have 5 bows. Damaged bows. We'll worry about what kinds later. They're not magical.
Alright, what did I get from the assortment of metal ingots?
Roll me the D100.
D10s, where you at?
There's one.
Yeah, found him. $26.
26. All right. We'll say you found 2 gold bars. 4 silver bars. 5 copper bars, and then 15 iron bars.
Already? That was all. Did we ever check out these scrolls over here?
No, you skipped them. They were a collection of journals. Oh, those? Yeah,
Yeah.
they were all pretty much just destroyed. The locusts have been eating the fuck out of them.
Ah.
As far as you could tell from the random bits, I think you guys already had figured it out, but they were basically just welcoming things. So that's as much as you could get out of it. Kind of like a, hey, here's the guild. And that's about all that you could get.
And anything decent in this wood pile for wood?
Yeah, you could probably get a couple of logs on the top of the pile that were decent still. From when the orcs had come through and made a pile of wood.
I'll also grab a couple logs.
Okay. You have enough for, we'll say, 2 campfires.
How many logs is that?
I don't know. We'll go with 4 per fire. So 8, I guess.
That's good to me.
Alright.
I think that's everything then. I mean, I would like to grab the clock, but rather not damage it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch to get out of there if you were to try and get it out.
Yeah.
Alright, Avina, Tucson, you guys have all your stuff wrapped up and set to go. Avina, you're talking to your rats.
I was just telling them it's time to go. I guess I can speak to them now.
How long does
I know
the
they're
spell
rats.
last?
Good question. It didn't actually say it. Getting it now.
I mean, they hear you. They say,
1
okay,
minute per druid level, which would be
ranger level.
or 1 minute per level. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they say okay, but if you were to talk to them in like a minute or 2, they wouldn't understand, and you wouldn't understand anymore. It would just be back to them kind of understanding your tone as it was before. Kind of like a food, like, oh, she's excited about something and we're hungry and she's holding food. She has food. It's no longer like, food. Oh, okay. What are we eating? Like, yeah, that's not going to happen anymore.
That's fine. Alright. And other than that, yep, she's packed up and ready to go.
Anyone else doing anything? I know Zephyr went and got himself some of the wine.
I did as well.
And Arim did.
After the wine, I probably went to help Arim carry all the stuff he wanted to grab.
Okay. Perthros, what's he doing?
Probably not much. Might be looking around to see if he missed any of the stuff from the start.
Okay. What about Tucson?
I'm just gonna hang back.
Okay. Well, once everyone is set to go, the party begins to make their way. And it was a 6-day trek via horse and carriage and all. I want you guys to decide how you are going. There's horse, and there's carriage behind horse. So
How many people could fit in the cart? It was just 3?
I think I said 2.
And keep in mind we have all the stuff in there.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in there, actually.
You're probably only going to get one person in the cart, but you can also have someone on Alphonse. So to a degree, you went from 3 people not having to walk to now only 2 people not having to walk. But whoever's on Alphonse is going to need to roll a ride.
So, not me.
I could probably ride the horse.
Roll me a ride. Yeah, I mean, you guys are going at a slow pace and all. Not like slow, but you're fine. It's just a horse. It's your guys' own horse. Tate, where's Avina gonna be?
Riding in the cart with the rats.
Sure, she should be riding, not one of your more injured friends. And the rats won't fit. The rats have to walk.
Oh. Walking with the rats, then.
Behind the group, or next, or in front?
Probably next to, like right here.
Okay. What about Arim and Perthros?
I was staying about back here just in case I get a shot on something. If we end up running into anything.
And then where's Arim at?
Oh, it'd be nice to be in the cart.
Alright, so he'll be in the cart, so then he gets... So long as nothing happens, he gets his full day rest. So everyone, because nothing's going to happen along the trip, everyone does get back 24 health. Because 4 health times 6 days. The first day, Arim gets another 4.
Shit, does that make me explode from positive energy?
No. Gets back 4 health. And if you have over your max health, it's slowly been decreasing, and by the time you'll get to the city, it's back down to full. Not over full. So, first day goes by, everyone gets 4 points more, or it's been decreasing. By the end of the second day, your HP would have decreased down to normal max. So who was over max? Tate was, Jared was. So yeah, Lamb, by now you're full health
I
again.
I used up all mine on my bow. Remember?
Oh yeah. So Avina, by the end you should be full. Jared, by the end you should be full. Kelb, you were at 14, right? After the negative, after you were at 1, didn't you drink some potion?
Yeah, and I had myself marked at 18.
Okay, so 18. Well, 14, and then the 4 that you just got from sleeping.
Yeah.
So I think you should be back at full by the end of the day, and Noah should too, or by the end of the trip. So, yeah. However you guys decide roleplay wise that it happened, that's how it happened. But when all is said and done, 1 minute. Okay, when all is said and done, the gang is making their way back to the city, and you're on the final day back to the city. Everyone's back at full. Everyone is full magic use and everything else. Tate or Lamb, we're gonna end game here, but before we do, Tate or Lamb, did either of you wish during those 6 days to use the wonder items? The dice or the
Yes, because I haven't used it in such a long ass time. I'm gonna concentrate too.
Yeah, I'm good for now.
So he's gonna go the week without using it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, you guys don't have to use them anymore. You're not forced to.
I already used mine today, so.
I know.
Well, this is like days later.
I know.
Or whenever. Anyway, go ahead, Tate. So first off, where do you use these?
I'm probably tossing them over the side. I know how they work.
But like right next to your party? Or are you walking away? Are you having Mr. Balasar go with you so you can show off to your new friend? Although I don't think he's your friend,
Probably
but
right
whatever.
Here, kind of off into the trees. I'm like,
So
I don't really...
She's in sight of
After
everyone.
I concentrate.
Okay. So you got a 14 on your concentration?
Yep.
Roll me a d12.
Seven.
You can go up or down by 1. So you're either on a d10, a d10, or a d8. In short, you're, yeah. Do you want to go to a 6, an 8, or stay at the 7?
I'll stay at... No.
What's the matter?
I'll go 8.
Oh, okay.
I hate all 3 of these.
Roll me a d10.
I hate all 3 of them.
I mean, technically the 6 wouldn't have been bad. Technically.
4.
Not concentrating on the dice? Alright. Your ears burn. You
Ow.
reach up. You have elf ears.
Gonna have to fix that. And concentrating one more time.
Okay.
Oh wait, I need to roll 20.
What'd you get on your concentration?
12.
12? Okay. Roll your d12.
4.
A 4? Alright. You can stay on the 4, or with a concentration of 12, you can go to a 3 or a 5.
5.
So why were you afraid of going to the 6? Whatever. Anyway.
6 is attack.
Yeah, so is 4 and so is 5.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure you've had that
about
before.
5. No, I haven't had 5. I've had 4 and 6. 5
Well,
I've got nothing marked.
Crazily enough, the thing in between attack and attack is also attack.
I know you.
It should have been defend.
Yeah. Alright,
Exactly.
You went to a 5. Roll me a d8.
Eight.
Roll me... Well, I guess there is no d2. That'd be a coin. Roll me a d4.
Two.
Alright. It lands and... I guess... I don't really have anything on it, so I'll just be descriptive with it. You throw the d8, and it causes the tree that it hits, the flowers and grass and bushes in that vicinity of, we'll just go with, say, a 10-foot square, but that could change in the future when I find what it's supposed to be. But suddenly get dealt necro damage, and it all dies. You drained the life of that 10-foot section.
Jesus. We call that Hell Square. We never go there.
Balasar looks at you and goes, "Are you trying to fix your ears? Or are you trying to destroy the planet?"
Well, these dice, we kind of take what we get. But yes, the ears, Oh, hold on. Perthros, how do I look?
Do you look, Lamb?
No.
He doesn't look.
Perthros. I'm just like Mom and Dad, Perthros. He doesn't like the dice.
I couldn't tell. All right. He walks over to you, grabs the hand that is holding the bag, grabs your other hand, breathes in, concentrating, has your hand go in, says, grab the dice. Do you grab the dice?
Does.
Okay. You reach it out. He lets go of the dice hand, and he grabs your hand, and just holds on and concentrates for a longer amount of time. And then lets go, and then goes, roll it.
She rolls it.
Your ears burn, and they're back to normal. He just looks at you and goes, you seriously need to figure out how to use gnome technology. I hate that crap. Way too chaotic. And goes back to walking next to Alphonse.
But... This is the first serious guy who's not fucking with us.
And that's where we will end game then.